Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins from American numismatic history, the 1965 United States quarter dollar without a mint mark. If you've ever found a 1965 quarter in your pocket change, or in an old collection, and wondered whether it could be worth something big, you're in the right place. This video is going to explore every single detail, from its background and design to the hidden varieties, rare errors, and today's real market values. So sit back, grab your coffee or your magnifying glass, and let's go on this fascinating journey into the world of the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that might look ordinary but has stories that make it extraordinary. Let's start by understanding what makes the 1965 quarter so interesting. This particular year was a turning point in American coinage history. Before 1965, US quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But due to the rising price of silver and a national coin shortage, the US Mint decided to change the composition. Starting in 1965, quarters were produced using a copper-nickel-clad composition, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. That's the metal content still used in most US quarters today. Now, this change also caused something else unusual. The Mint removed all mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967. So, if your 1965 quarter doesn't have a D or S mark under Washington's neck, that's perfectly normal. It was part of the Mint's plan to discourage coin hoarding during the silver-to-clad transition period. However, even though 1965 quarters were made in huge numbers, more than 1.8 billion pieces, not all of them are the same. There are special varieties and minting errors that can make certain 1,965 quarters worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Let's talk about those. One of the most famous rare varieties is the 1965 silver quarter error. These were coins accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. If your coin weighs around 6.25 grams instead of the standard 5.67 grams, it might be one of these rare transitional errors. Silver 1965 quarters have sold for big money at auctions, sometimes between $5,000 and $20,000, depending on the condition and confirmation from professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Then there are double die errors, where the inscriptions or dates show doubling. Some 1965 quarters show doubling on Liberty, or In God We Trust, and even slight doubling can attract collectors. Values for minor doubled die coins can range from $50 to $300, while major ones can exceed $1,000. Another interesting type is the off-center strike error. These happen when the coin blank isn't perfectly centered during the minting process, causing parts of the design to be missing. Depending on how far off-center it is, the value could be anywhere from $100 to over $1,500. There are also clipped planchet errors, where a small portion of the coin's edge is missing. These are collectible and can sell for $30 to $100. Now, let's talk about condition and grading, a major factor in determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers representing better preservation. A 1965 quarter in circulated condition, meaning it's been used in everyday transactions, is generally worth just face value, 25 cents. In fine, F12 condition, it may still only be worth around 30 cents to 50 cents, depending on the collector market. However, uncirculated or mint state examples can bring higher prices. For instance, a 1965 quarter graded MS65 can sell for $15 to $25, while an MS67 could bring $200 to $300. Exceptional examples graded MS68 or higher are extremely rare and can exceed $1,000, especially if they have attractive toning or full strike details. Proof-like or satin finish coins, though not officially proofs from this year, are also highly collectible if they have mirror-like surfaces. Some collectors pay premium prices for visually stunning examples. Let's move on to what makes this coin special in history. The Washington quarter design itself was introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse was designed by John Flanagan and features a left-facing bust of Washington with the word Liberty above and In God We Trust on the left. The reverse features the American bald eagle with wings spread, holding arrows and olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. This design stayed in use for over 60 years until the State Quarters program began in 1999. So, the 1965 quarter not only represents a shift in material, but also marks the end of an era, the transition from precious metal coinage to modern clad coins. That makes it an important historical piece, even if most examples are common. Collectors also like to build complete date runs, and since the 1965 quarter is the first of the clad series, it's an essential coin for any modern US quarter collection. In today's 2025 market, here's a realistic breakdown. A regular circulated 1965 quarter is worth around 25 cents to 50 cents. A coin in fine condition might be worth about 50 cents to $1. An extremely fine example can fetch $1 to $3. In uncirculated mint state, MS60, MS63, prices range from $3 to $10. Higher grades like MS65 and above move into the $20 to $200 plus range depending on eye appeal. Error coins, as mentioned, can easily bring $100 to several $1,000s. And of course, silver transitional errors are the jackpot, often $5,000 to $15,000 or more in verified condition. If you're checking your own coins, use a digital scale first to test for silver. A normal 1965 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams, but if it's heavier, around 6.25 grams, you may have found one of those rare transitional errors, and that means you should have it professionally authenticated immediately. Another quick tip: use a magnifier to check for unusual lettering, doubling, or odd surfaces. Even minor striking issues can make a coin more valuable than its face value. Now, let's talk a bit about the collecting community. The 1965 quarter has gained renewed interest in the last few years, especially with YouTube coin hunters, online auctions, and TikTok videos bringing attention to possible hidden treasures in everyday change. That hype has increased demand for higher-grade coins and varieties, making it an exciting time for collectors worldwide. Some auction results worth noting. In recent years, a 1965 silver transitional quarter graded MS62 by PCGS sold for $12,650, while another high-grade clad example graded MS68 fetched around $2,000. These numbers prove that while most are common, the right piece can change everything. So, even though the majority of 1965 quarters are not made of silver and hold minimal numismatic premium, there's always that small chance of finding a rare variety that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Always remember, the key is in the details: weight, metal composition, and striking quality. To wrap it all up, the 1965 Washington quarter, without a mint mark, is a coin that bridges old and new eras of US currency. Whether you're a beginner collector or an experienced numismatist, it's a coin worth studying, holding, and appreciating for its place in American history. If you have one of these coins, check it carefully. It might not make you a millionaire overnight, but who knows? That small quarter in your hand could tell a story worth far more than 25 cents.